Welcome back. Video number 3. Before we get started, though, I want to make a correction. In video number 2, I talked about fixer and the actual chemical that is used in the fixing process of silver emulsion film as well as silver emulsion paper is sodium thiosulfate. And so I wanted to clarify that. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of our camera controls. Uh, we, of course, have looked at a variety of different types of cameras. The single lens reflex, we've talked about the little point and shoot camera, and there are many other cameras in terms of film cameras and as well as digital cameras that are being produced today. And those things range, from a couple $100s to tens of thousands of dollars for high-end Hasselblad cameras. You can certainly look online, places like B&H Photo or Calumet Photo for a variety of different types of cameras. But let's talk a little bit about the camera, and I'm going to take my little webcam and bring it a little bit closer to my camera here, and I'll show you a few things. So bear with me. So here we have our camera, and we can see the single lens reflex camera, the back of it. Very simply, we have an on-off switch, and when we turn this on, certainly we can get into our menu and look at the variety of different types of menus that we have available to us. The quality, of course, is a significant menu right at top here, and we can look at a variety of different RAW files with large or medium and small JPEG files, or just straight RAW. I usually shoot in both RAW as well as a large JPEG, so I have a JPEG that attaches itself to that. And then we can scroll down and look at a variety of different custom white balance. Color balance is what I really like on this camera. It is something that I can actually change my color balance depending upon daylight film or daylight shooting, whether I'm out in the sun, or I can use a Kelvin like 32, 34 for indoor shooting under a variety of light situations. I can also manually light balance, and each camera is different in how we light balance that. You can see that images can be reviewed on the screen. They can be erased if you so desire, or cancel out. Of course, our viewfinder, and let's pull to the top of the camera here and we'll look at that. And right at the top of the camera we see a hot shoe, and this hot shoe is something we can attach an external flash to, but we do have a little button over here that we can press and open up our little flash unit. Let's see here. See if I can get that to open up. There we go. And we have a flash unit that does pop open, a little peanut flash. It does not have a very long range, but it is something that is usable. And over here in our screen you can see the type of file we're using, how many shots we have left on our card, battery, power, choices of the types of shooting, servo shooting or one-shot shooting that we're doing. And here we see a little reading device which tells us the light amount that's coming through our lens. And then since we're operating in the manual mode, you can see you have manual and aperture priority, time priority, or shutter priority, and then automatic, and we'll talk a little bit more about those later. But in the manual setting we can adjust our shutter speeds as well as our apertures in here, and we can also adjust our ISO rating. And right now we have it set at 800 ISO, and certainly we can choose 400, and this camera goes all the way down to 100 ISO. Now that's hard to see. and also all the way up to 1600 ISO. And we'll talk a little bit about ISOs later on and their importance. Let's get out of there. In this camera, we see we have a shutter button right here and another adjustment dial. And the shutter button operates not only the shutter, but we have the potential of using an autofocus. You can see the little autofocus and manual focus button here. When we choose autofocus, we can actually press the button and it will autofocus for us. You can see that dial move a little bit and will autofocus. So those are a few operations, controls of the camera. Of course, it's important that you read your own camera operation or camera manual. Come back up here. Read your own manual for your book. Very important. I always carry mine with me for the 30D. A lot of information in here. There's a lot of because I shoot mostly manually, I don't use a lot of automatic settings, and so I'm not very familiar with automatic settings, so it's something I can even refer to. But it is important to read your own manual because each camera operation has its own unique dials and ways of getting into systems. We'll be back for more videos, and thank you very much.